I thought it would be fun to rank every FNaF animatronic by how good or bad it would be to possess each of them after you get killed. Now, let me just say this. First off, any character who does not actually exist, or we have no reason to believe that they actually exist, was put in their own tier about not existing, and then the characters who aren't actual animatronics will not be on this list either. So, yeah. Okay, cool. Let's do this. Now, any character who should not have any ability to move or has an AI system, like an AI personality, that isn't just a single function, such as a Showtime sequence or security thing, they were all put in F. The reason why I suspect this is because of the fact that the character of Circus Baby seemed to be the thing that's animated rather than Elizabeth's soul being in control, and the fact that Afton in FNaF 3 gets lured around is because of the fact that that animatronic suit that he's in is programmed to find children. So that's not because he's an idiot who falls for the trick every time. So yeah, that's why I put all of these guys in F, because you would have absolutely no control over them. And also in the case of Ennard the Blob and Molten Freddy, you would only be an arm as well. So that also takes away from it. So so yeah. Now these guys aren't as bad, but they still suck. They have major disadvantages, such as the fact that BB and JJ don't have any hands. Withered Chica also doesn't have any hands. Withered Bonnie doesn't even have a face, and he's missing an arm. But I mean, they're acceptable. Like you can actually control yourself with them, which is nice. And the reason why BB and JJ, despite being in better condition, are below the other ones is because they're not even strong enough to actually attack somebody. So that's why they're lower. But yeah, I mean, you're mostly in control here. I mean, in the case of Springtrap, you can still get lured around using sounds because of the fact that his system goes to attack children. But I mean, once again, these guys still suck, but not as much as not having any control at all. So at least that's nice. Now the C tier characters don't actually suck to be. They have their disadvantages, but it's not it's not still miserable. But so I think the problems each of them have is that one, DJ Music Man is too big. He can only be in the West Arcade, and that kind of sucks. The Jackos are literally on fire. The mediocre melodies have their batteries outside of their own bodies, which forces you to either drag them along or carry them with you. And then Mangle, while having the extra mobility is nice, and the fact that you can go on the ceiling is also nice, the radio static would become really, really annoying, especially given how loud it is for the original Mangle. Now, the B tiers definitely have the most diversity out of all the ones I placed here. Like, for example, I think that because of the fact that Shadow Freddy appears before William is attacked by the ghosts in the FNaF 3 cutscenes between nights, but then he does not appear when William is being attacked, that leads me to suspect that he is just a springlock suit that is in much better condition than the Spring Bonnie one that William is in whenever he gets springlocked. Candy Cadet, we only know that he gives out candy and tells stories, so we have no reason to believe that you would be under the control of an AI. Dee Dee, while having the same physical limitations as BB and JJ, which you might think would put her in the same tier as them, no, she actually has the power to turn on other animatronics, so I think that that's reasonable because then you can just have like a minion helping you. And then the nightmares, they're pretty standard. There isn't really anything particularly good or bad about them. But the reason why I put Nightmare Mangle in this tier but not Normal Mangle is because of the fact that Nightmare Mangle's radio is much more quiet. Golden Freddy cannot move freely or anything, but he does teleport and has the ability to like override hell and stuff like that. So, I think that there's enough to make up for that. Um, Withered Freddy and Withered Foxy, same sort of thing as the Nightmares. Lefty, we have no reason to believe that there's anything other than it being a trap for the marionette, which would mean that After it does that and brings it to the Pizzeria Simulator location, then you're pretty much free to control it as much as you want. Then, for the case of Lolbit, Lolbit has no physical body, but once again, we can see that Lolbit can hack your computer, so Lolbit can pretty much do whatever it wants in a computer. So similarly to Golden Freddy, that also makes up for the lack of actual, being able to control your own body sort of thing. So these characters aren't nearly as terrifying to the children, with the exception of the two on this list that are the actual, nightmare characters, one of which is literally named Nightmare. But so yeah, that's cool. They're Rockstar, Foxy, and Music Man are in better condition than the Nightmares as well, which is fantastic. The mini Music Man is shown to be able to crawl around in the vents and be fast at it too, so I think that's great. Nightmare and Nightmare Fredbear we know can teleport because they teleport into your room. So that's why I put them above the other nightmares, with the exception of one who we'll get to later. And then the normal Foxy, the reason I put him in is because he can take himself apart and control each of the parts independently, which is really cool. But he is still broken, so I put him below the other FNaF 1 animatronics, with the exception of Golden Freddy, you know. But yeah, that's the A tier. Those are the ones that I think are actually good. Now, all of these guys have something that Foxy and Rockstar Foxy will never have: two hands. But what's also good is the most of these guys are most of these guys are in pretty pristine condition. I mean, they all look pretty clean to me, which is great. And in the case of the toy animatronics, they even get an extra security system which allows them to fight better. And also, Toy Freddy gets to play video games, which is also pretty cool. And then, if you're wondering why I specifically put Toy Chica above Toy Bonnie, it's because she's popular. I can't imagine why. And then also, Shadow Bonnie, we know can float around and like glitch through stuff from the FNAF 3 minigame. Nightmarion and the Marionette have lasted for a long time. Nightmarion seems to be pretty much the embodiment of death in the FNAF universe. And then also, the normal marionette is pretty much the guardian of all of the other people who have died due to William, and she's and yeah, so she lasts a while and she is very powerful, which is great. Also, she has no I guess stiff robotic joints. She can just sort of float around and move freely like some sort of octopus tentacle, I guess. And then the reason my Fredbear is number one is because it has the power of Golden Freddy teleportation, power over life and death, stuff like that, but also a full body. So yeah, that's it. That's these characters ranked by how good or bad each of them would be to possess. Good night, everybody.